E aí pessoal, tudo bem com vocês? Eu sou o Panaci, tô aqui para jogar um pouquinho de Biomutant. Vamos começar a jogar esse jogo. Vários vídeos vão rolar, então vamos embora. Tá iniciando o jogo. Traderzinho de início já é maravilhoso o jogo, né?
How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end. Welcome to Biomutant.
Bem-vindo ao Biomutant. Vamos lá. Novo jogo, jogado médio. E agora tudo começa.
Encode your DNA.
E o mal Dudum Hex Hila Pip ou Bargle, você do Primal. Primal é mais legalzinho. Vamos lá, quem tem mais vida é o Hila. Mas o tem mais regenera energia mais rápido. Chance de crítica maior. Eu acho o melhorzinho do mundo. Esse aqui também é meio. Orgel. Primal. Ó, esse é mais rápido. Esses são mais fortes. Eles são tão bons físico quanto mental. Eu vou nesse aqui.
Define your genetic structure.
Fica estranho quando você põe muito pro canto. Peraí, então.
Encode your
Vou de
DNA.
primal.
Define your genetic structure.
Vou adicionar um pouco de força. Vitalidade. Apesar que agilidade e intelecto dele. Aqui assim. Perdi tanto de força. Carisma dele cai para 6. Sorte 10. Intelecto vai para 30. Vitalidade 24. Força dele vai para 46. Tá tudo 28 dele, padrãozão. Eu acho que eu vou deixar assim, 25, 25, 32, 33.
Choose a genetic resilience.
Calor mesmo, pelo. Que eu vou deixar padrão,
Choose your
666.
first style.
Pelo. Ah, legal. Gostei dessa
Pick
aqui.
your main color.
Corzinha dele. Esse tom assim.
Choose your detail color.
Cor secundária. Bem preto agora.
Pick a class. Commando.
Pistoleiro, soldado.
Commando.
Psicodoido.
Saboteur. Sentinel. Deadeye. Commando.
Ataques de armas vão causando 10 mais de dano.
Psyfreak. Saboteur.
Da parte.
Commando.
Jogar de pistoleiro mesmo.
Deadeye chosen.
Tapa-olho escolhido. Começar? Começar. E agora a gente começa a jogar, depois de montar o personagem.
Here's somebody with a troubled past,
Tá.
drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun.
Bueno.
We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make... But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, a primal energy that flows through everything.
Vermelho, força e poder, liberdade e lealdade. Prefiro vermelho escuro.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the dark side of you. Your inner voice, to be precise. An echo of the balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
So glad you realize who you really are. Let's keep to the bright and better path moving on.
You can't contradict yourself like that.
Because you can't deny what's deep within your heart. Sometimes a thought is just a thought. In the end, it's the way you act that counts.
But remember,
Lembre que isso é só
just the beginning of the
o começo
end.
do fim. Uma hora vai ser o meu jeito, ou de jeito nenhum jeito. Escuridão. Escuridão mediana. Não dá pra quebrar esses aqui? Que lado que eu vou agora? Esse aqui.
Guess left can be right, sometimes. Right is always right.
É direito, porque o bichinho tava na direita.
Stories of death and the bodies left behind. A reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family? Or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger.
Então quer dizer o bichinho perdeu a família pra esse bichão grande, será? Ah, assim que corta o bagulho.
You better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story.
Só fugir agora. Que é a historinha do comecinho. Biomutant. O jogo é bom, o jogo é bom. Gostosinho de jogar. Do jeitinho que é aberto. A jogabilidade dele é muito boa. Gostosinho, dá pra jogar.
This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes.
Então, por enquanto, é melhor fugir.
The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. O que será que tem pra cá? Caixa de munição. Modo elétrico. Complemento de armas. Você encontrou um complemento de arma. Coloque-o em uma arma a longo alcance para dar efeito especial ao seu dano. O efeito continua enquanto durar a munição. Os inimigos possuem resistência e fraqueza. Tá. Tá. Suplemento médico. São itens que você curar. A vida não regenera sozinha em combate. Você precisa ir consumir ou encontrar outras formas para se curar. Vou pegar. Entendi. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways.
Legal. Saquear inimigos pode ser saqueados para conseguir itens de cura. Encontre inimigos destacados e pressione. Pegar delicioso.
Bullets everywhere.
Certo que às vezes aqui vai ter treta. Os inimigos ganham grandes escudos, você precisa quebrá-los com ataque como para descobrir causar dano. Boa. Tô ainda moscando na hora de defender. De energia média. Pontos de aprimoramento. Será que é aqui? Ah, aqui ó. Olha, eu posso aumentar um atributo. Aumentar o... Qual que eu tinha baixado? Força para 35. Boa. 2 pilares, combate corpo a corpo. Importante de 2 mãos. Lobo mal. Boa. Tem alguma coisa de equipamento aqui também. Ah não, itens consumíveis. Tá certo, todos os itens que eu consegui.
Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight.
Peça de pilhagem. Garra bastão do velho mundo. Eu acho que equipamento por... Certo.
That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy.
Vamos lá, quebramos o cano. Descendo.
Whoa. It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Crit.
Biobolhas. Você absorveu uma biobolha. Esses pontos são usados para liberar mutações. Você coleta biobolhas da Tormox, controlar eficientes em vários locais. Você pode usar as biobolhas para liberar poderes especiais, acessando a parte de mutação do menu. Tá, vamos ver aqui. Que isso? Tá. Mutações. Menu de mutação. Mutações. Biogenéticas poderes possíveis. Desvio. Vou pegar essa primeiro. Mario. Ah, entendi. Agora eu... Legal.
You've used up all your key energy.
Saindo do abrigo. 101.
Toxanol built vessels called arcs to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single arc they left behind that we know other arcs traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind.
Movimentos restantes. Você encontrou um quebra-cabeça. Eles são espalhados sobre todo mundo. Alguém abrem novos caminhos e outros concedem recompensas diferentes. Para mudar o modo selecionado, pressione cima para baixo, por cima para baixo. Tá. Tirar o modo. Pressione RB. Você tem maior seu intelecto. Entendi. Se tirar o modo até a posição correta, completar que eu...
Just a few moves left. Make them count.
Vamos ver.
There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours.
Ah, então basicamente foi poluição que causou isso.
The sound of spark metal going pew pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door.
Muito complicada mesmo.
There you go.
Ataque aéreo. Um contra-ataque no momento exato dos inimigos. Gráficos de estrelinha circulando sobre sua cabeça. Atacar novamente. O inimigo pode arremessá-lo para ao pressionar LB.
The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Slash and dash. Scrag them. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives.
Uma nova e uma antiga amizade.
He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Looper Lupin did to your village, your Moomer and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Moomer's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree.
Por padrão, os diálogos avançam automaticamente de uma fala de um NPC para outro. Se quiser avançar manualmente, muitas configurações. Há muito tempo do velho mundo. Ele tinha 2 olhinhos. Juvenado.
Asks if you were tired.
Pergunta se você ainda tem energia.
From the
Cala a
village.
boca até chegar.
He wonders if
Pressiona,
your
sua
Moomer
mãe sabe que eu
knows
estou
you
aqui.
are here.
Espero te acreditar ela.
You're such a good
Só uma
child, so
criança
you
tá
probably
prometida.
did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato
Batatudos.
people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life.
Nonos, Batatudos é melhor. Não acredito. Batatudos é melhor.
You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding.
Nova missão, capim brilhante.
You found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The nono's ki energy is just what the pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life.
Que pensai?
The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving back to nature. It'll be the heart of the land. You need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No, she's got lots on her mind and needs rest after the raid last night on the Lupin camp with her disciples. Wonders if they let the Predator family live or not.
Ah, então possivelmente eles mataram a família do bichão primeiro.
He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the tree of life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun. And it wasn't long after that the World Eaters arrived. Records tell of the ruinous devastation the Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land. The apocalypse sparked a re-evolution, the second coming, and our lineage. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the midget and is preparing to take on the hoof puff at the end of the east route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast.
Pa, wherefore, whereway?
Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route.
Pa, wherefore, whereway?
The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters.
Do wobble.
E no mundo. Saia do abrigo, mas cadê a porta? Pra cá.
You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb.
Vamos subir isso aqui. A história é boa demais até. Saímos do abrigo. Nada aqui em volta.
Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters.
Biomutant. Agora começa. Cara, aí depois de 15 mostráveis, 15 vezes já. Tá um mapa enorme. Pelo jeito. Equipamento. Inventário, ferramentas. Aqui. Conseguimos já uma conquistinha. Apresentado por experimento 101.
A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see.
Ah, é para abrir o mapa. Um pouco mais. Ah, porra, tem um bicho de 3 cabeças ali.
That must be the World Eater that chewed off Out of Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone.
Fairy tale.
He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all... He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart.
Interagir com o efeito instantâneo, você não consegue pontos psionicos. Pode ser usado para liberar poderes psionicos. Poderes que só pode liberar de equilíbrio interior necessário que escolha
Then I
dominou.
say yes, home.
Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your
Jesus.
intentions.
Não pude.
He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
Vou ajudar, pô. Vou ajudar o menino.
That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
Ponto psionico desbloqueado.
There's Out of Date again. He must have missed something important. Out of Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there are 2 nearby. The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the greater good and have a code of honor. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way.
Ah, mas tem como, né? Se nós tá tentando salvar a Árvore da Vida.
Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do.
E as outras estão exibidas, tá? O que eu ganho aqui agora? Sumível.
Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be?
Agora aqui. Poderes psônicos. Chamas. Teletransporte. Chamas.
You're absolutely drained. It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded.
Vambora, né? Falar com um dos
This area was
manda-chuvas.
beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the myriad tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. The Sifu is mindful of his time, but thinks you'll just have to find out for yourself if he's willing to spend some of it on you.
Vamos lá ver o Shifu. O mestre Shifu.
Sibi? Lapfanen aginkanman. Geradna fal hutut mus. Tugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. The wall that separates them from the other side? The wasteland you came from? He guesses the time spent there just left a blank space in your memory, as empty and barren as the wasteland itself. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the Tree of Life.
Eu quero salvar a Árvore da Vida.
He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm in doing good to others. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe.
Temos aliança com
Their king
Myriad.
have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. A war that bonds as much as it breaks. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share land again. Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul, and can sense you still have it in you, the will to do good. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong, and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on your way to the first rival outpost might help.
A próxima missão principal é uma aliança. Então, gente, vou parar o vídeo por aqui. Vou terminar aqui. Depois a próxima a gente vai sair do forte aqui e ir atrás dos Jagnes, que eles querem destruir a Árvore da Vida. Mas então é isso, galera. Obrigado por quem assistiu. Deixa o like, se inscreve no canal. E se você gostou do Biomutant, deixa um comentário aí que eu vou trazer mais. Então, até mais.